for throwing the books last time, so you with your hand up right here, come up. It seems like I hit somebody in the head. So I'm not allowed to throw books anymore. All right. And then webbots, spiders, and screen scrapers. Wow, this is a real popular book. You with the hat.
All right, dude. Here you go.
All right, before we get started on the talk, we have Tom Brennan from OWASP Foundation. He's going to give a little introduction, and then we're going to go ahead straight into the talk as soon as they get their laptops up and running into PathX, Explosive Security Testing Tools with XPath. So first, Tom Brennan.
Excellent. Good morning, good morning. So I'm Tom Brennan with OWASP, OWASP.org, Open Web Application Security Project. Just wanted to say a quick introduction for both Martin and Andres that they've been phenomenally supportive of the organization. Also, if you don't know, there is an OWASP conference coming up in New York. There's a call for papers out. So Layer 7 Web Application Security, we highly encourage you to submit a paper or a talk. So with that, laptop's working?
Yeah, we can plug it in though.
Oh, okay.
Plugged in? Yeah. Set it down. Thanks, Tom, and welcome. Let me see. Oops. Should we... Oh, my laptop's not working either, it looks like. Yeah, almost. Is that my screen or not?
Oh, it's Andy, desktop. You gotta slide it over.
Hmm?
Yeah, you gotta slide it over.
Dude.
Just hope it,
Is that 5?
Hold on. What the fuck am I on? This is retarded.
That's weird.
No, dude.
Just move over and press the 5.
Does it keep going to this one?
Did you hit that 5?
Yeah.
Huh.
Fuck, yo.
Huh.
Yeah, we have PowerPoint, right?
What?
You have PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
That's
so
not gonna help, is it?
yeah, why not? PowerPoint's... It's being stupid.
Isn't there just a way to send it, like...
Hold on. No. Stop.
What?
No, don't let me turn off the monitor.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for waiting.
Sorry about that, guys.
Our talks about PathX, explosive security testing tools with XPath. Next slide. So there's different ways of doing security testing, different names for it. Some people call it hacking or penetration testing. Some people call it vulnerability assessment, vulnerability finding, vulnerability research, security research. Sometimes I get some interesting questions about how to be a security tester, how to get involved in security testing. There's different ways to improve technique. There's maybe false positives and false negatives, and people always ask me about those types of questions. How do you handle them? How do you deal with type 1, type 2 errors? How do you find an exploit versus a vulnerability? And there's no real simple answer to that because it's a bigger problem. We're not going to address that problem today, but we are going to talk about other issues with security testing tools and knowing when to stop. So these are all fuzzer or fault testing type issues. We're not really going to cover this stuff, but we're going to cover a lot of other things. If you're here to see XPath blind injection or something like that, we're not talking about any of that either. There'll be no active exploits being shown here, but there might be some other interesting stuff. If you're going to get involved in computer security at all, I think that you should go to the MITRE website. They got a lot of good stuff, especially making security measurable.mitre.org. On the CWE site, which is Common Weakness Enumeration, they talk about software weaknesses, which is kind of like classes of vulnerabilities. And they have one section there in the document section. It's called Introduction to Vulnerability Theory, and they try and get into the researcher's instinct, the way security professionals, especially good ones, think about how to solve, how to find vulnerabilities, how to solve security problems, et cetera, et cetera. Let me see. I got some notes here too. So yeah, I have an example of a vulnerability that we found recently, and we're going to talk about that in a second here. But basically, there's lots of other places to find information too, and contacting people working with other people is good. We have a friend locally named Marcin, and on Friday we went and visited him in his office. And when we left, right before we left, I stole something.
And what'd you steal?
We all stole something.
Yeah, we stole Google cookies. So.
Bam. So we found a real vulnerability in Google. The basics of it is that it was not on the top level domain, so we can't share all the details with you. We did responsibly disclose it already. We talked to Google and worked on that type of problem and submitted a bug with them in their tracking system. Basically, CSS was consumed by Google externally. It could be external or embedded XSS that is caused from a style sheet, and they executed and ran it. So it's not a stored XSS. It's just a reflected XSS type, and that's the summary. No. I'm going to talk about it right here. Actually, this is the code for it, so this is how it works. But I'm going to use vulnerability theory to explain how this particular vulnerability works. So there's different artifact labels. This is CWE, Introduction to Vulnerability Theory. And artifact labels basically is like a way of describing the locations in the code and in the data. And there's 4 different points, like interaction points, crossover points, trigger points that they talk about. And then the end, like the actual payload, is the activation. And anyways, if you take a look at the code, at the top there's a table. And I noticed that the Google text turned a different color. And most people think color vulnerabilities, that's not really that big of a deal. You're just changing the color of something from red to green or whatever. That's exactly what we did. I saw that the Google test, which should probably normally be black, was red. And I'm like, well, I wonder if we could change this to green. And just by changing our external or embedded CSS. So I checked it out, tried it, and it worked. We had it green in no time. So the interaction was, there was some type of interaction between our CSS and the Google site.